Hi, my name is Rose, and I am going to be playing Touchstarved today. I have played this game before, and I'm sorry for a little bit of a lisp, as the two people that I actually care that are going to watch this. No, I wear a retainer at night, and I have it in right now because I'm recording this before I go to bed. So, yeah, I just, I wanted to do something a little fun, and oh, but I like the music. I think I have it on off. What if I put my earbuds in so that I can hear it, but y'all can't hear it? The music is really pretty in this game. It's really sad, but they had to use copyrighted music. So, give me 2 seconds. Oh my god, this is exactly what this video is going to be like, too. And if I, you know, my earbuds are in my car. I'll be right back. Oh, this is so a me way to start a video, though, because I don't know where my earbuds are. Just kidding. My boyfriends know me, and they're not in my car, they're at school. Oh my god, this is exactly what this video is going to be like, and this is what everything is going to be like. But anyway, we're just going to play, minus the copyrighted music. So my computer's on mute anyway. Content warning. Touchstarved is intended for older audience. It contains mature content and that includes, but is not limited to, horror, graphic violence, strong language, alcohol and drug references, injury, and dismemberment. Player discretion is advised. Okay, do we know this? Do we even need to talk about it? Exactly. If you accept the content warning, please click to proceed. Tutorial. In Touchstarved, your choices matter. The decisions you make may result in unique dialogue, interactions, or even choices in red text, which contain exclusive content. Try playing through the demo more than once and choosing different options. You may even uncover a secret ending. And remember, there are no wrong choices, only interesting ones. Choose wisely and save often. I have played this myself. I've never actually played all the way through. I probably got about halfway through. Once, I've played with a friend through about a good part of it once. And I've seen somebody play it online once. Controls left click to progress. Up to progress, down to... No, up to rewind, down to progress. Space if we want to see the pretty pictures. My name is Rose. My pronouns, she, her. The world began to unravel long before you were born. It all started when fogfall, spectral mist bled from the seams where reality wore so thin it split. And from that fog emerged monsters, inhuman beings with unnatural powers. Some possessed language and intellect, others were mindless beasts driven by little more than bloodshed. An unrest spread and cities fell, humans cowered in fear while monsters thrived amid the chaos. And then there's you. So cringy. You don't know what you are, but one terrible truth is certain. You were born cursed, with the hands that alter the minds of those who touch you. Choose your backstory. I've played this before. I've always done the Alchemist, but that's just because that kind of fits my personality. My options. The Unnamed Mage, a fallen oracle. You were raised as an oracle in a remote temple. The priest claimed your touch bestowed enlightenment, but a visiting maid revealed your curse for what it is. Spurred on by the mage's word, you fled in search of the cenobium. You regularly experience unnatural premotion. I don't even know what the fuck that word is. That rattle your body and soul. An innate sixth sense gives you a heightened awareness of hidden supernatural presences. The Exile, a solitary survivor. You were exiled to a life far from civilization. Your only kinship was with an elderly hermit who taught you how to survive in the wild. He lost his life in search of a cure for you, but left you with the final lead to pursue the cenobium. You're a seasoned survivalist, well versed in deciphering soulless behaviors. You've gained fluency in various languages and an uncanny intuition for detecting danger. The Alchemist, an abandoned mage. An exiled cenobium mage took you in as a child, raising you as her apprentice. She seemed to take pity on your curse, but you discovered that she was cultivating you as a test subject. You fled to the cenobium seeking a cure. You're an experienced spellcaster with an encyclopedic knowledge of alchemy, spellcraft, and history. With little observation, you can identify the subtle effects of magic. So, knowing me, I love the Alchemist because I play D&D, and in D&D I'm a sorcerer because I just love the raw power part of that. So, I feel like it fits. So, we're going to play as the Alchemist. Your name is Rose. You selected she, her pronouns. Your backstory is the Alchemist. Is this correct? Yes, it is. I'm having fun. The wasteland stretches as far as the eye can see. There's nothing out here but death. The ever-present stench of decay and countless sun-bleached bones cast like seeds across the barren land. I could say death doesn't scare me, but honestly I'm desperate. It's been 2 weeks since I joined a caravan bound across the wastes. Finding a group that would accept me was a trial in itself. I can hide my hands, but deflect probing questions, but sooner or later people always suspect something strange about me. As rations grew sparse and canteens ran dry, tensions rose. Despair began to set in until I saw it. Iridia, the city of knowledge, one of the last bastions of humanity left in the world and home to the famous academy called the Cenobium. All the world's knowledge gathered in one place. If there's anywhere I'll find a cure for my curse, it's there. Isn't it so pretty? Don't we just love cities like this? They're just so beautiful. And as we can hear, if you can, I'm not sure if my phone's blocking this noises out. My computer sounds like an airplane right now. All that stands between me and a new life is the final stretch of salt-soaked waste. Or, so I think until the first tendrils of fog snake beneath the wagon. Is this fogfall? My stomach sinks at the very whisper of it. A silent storm more devastating than fire, dangerous in cities, but a death sentence beyond them. A thick blanket of fog engulfs us, snuffing out lantern's light. The wagon lurches to a stop. In eerie silence, heavy as mist falls over us. The only warning we get is a strangled scream. Stay back! No! The cry dissolves into wet gurgling. Then, the wagon violently pitches to the side. I hit the ground hard. They are punched from my lungs. When I open my eyes, adrenaline lends sudden awful clarity to the carnage around me. A trader I once shared bread with lies face down in the mud, their back reduced to long strips of torn muscle, gleaming gristle and exposed bone. Bodies litter the wasteland. I try to rise, but my ankle explodes with pain so blinding, white blooms across my vision. Only when my eyes finally adjust do I see the dark shape before me. A soulless stoops over the twisted form of a caravaner. I freeze, but it swivels its head. A dozen bulging eyes twitch in my direction. and blink as one. The Solus lets out an ear-splitting shriek as it charges me. But right before it reaches me, the beast barrels past, vanishing into the mist. A horse screams in the distance. I need to move. Now. Run for the city or head towards the wagon. I feel like... I personally would probably head back to the wagon to see if I could find anybody or anything, but I'm not really sure. I take cover beside the wagon where the air is thick with greasy smoke. Fire eats through the gaping hole, sputtering where lantern oil mixes with black, brackish water. Every person I see is dead or dying, except one. O All-Mother, forgive our sins. Guide us unto your hearth. We are worthy. We are worthy. A traveler grovels by the flames, their hands clasped above their head in fervent prayer. I glance upwards towards the gauzy lights of Iridia, just visible where the fog runs thinnest. I don't pray, but the sight of the city is all the reminder I need. I came too far to die here. Rapid footsteps echo all around me. I turn in circles, frantically searching the opaque mist for the source. But the fogfall twists and stretches sound. Suddenly, the caravan's driver bursts forth from the fog. Our eyes meet too late. He knocks me to the ground and slips in a patch of mud. The Solus instantly falls on him. It catches the driver by his throat and rakes his stomach with razor-sharp claws. He comes apart like wet paper, spilling intestines and viscera in a steaming tide. Fighting the urge to heave, I claw frantically through the slippery muck for a handhold. Shit! My hand catches on the jagged edge of rib jutting up from the water. Bandages unfurl around the gouge torn deep into my palm. But the pain's quickly forgotten when a hand closes around my wrist. Can you stand? The praying traveler leans over me. We need to run. They reach for my hand, and I realize too late that my bandages have come undone. No, don't touch me! The sensation of their thumb brushing the back of my hand sends a shiver down my spine. All it takes is one touch, and in the space of a breath, my girth takes hold. Their lips peel back into a deranged grin. No, I've seen this face countless times before. This is my curse, madness of my own making. Their grip on my hand tightens until pain radiates from my knuckles. Suddenly, clammy hands crush my throat, choking off my breath. Die, 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 die. Spit bubbles at the corners of their mouth and flecks my face. The edges of my vision darken as my lungs shriek for air. Fight them off. My nails gouge deep into the traveler's wrist, but no matter how much blood I draw, they don't flinch. The more I struggle, the tighter their grip grows. My pulse hammers in my ears, slowing with each thudding beat. This can't be happening. I'm going to die, and not because of the fogfall or the Solus, but because of my curse. Tears sting my eyes. No, no, no. Not here. Not like this. But then their hands drop from my neck, leaving me wheezing for air. My lungs burn with each ragged cough. My vision clears, and the traveler's face takes shape, hovering inches from mine, lips still split in that macabre smile. Even as blood seeps into their teeth, they give one last shuddering breath and slump over the claws hooked through their stomach. The Solus shoves the body aside, its glowing eyes narrow as though grinning. There's a flash of claws. Red spills across my vision. I thought there'd be pain, but as I sink into the murky water, all I can feel is the grit of the silt filling my mouth as the icy embrace of the shallow water. I spot an arm resting among the outcrop of reeds, mine neatly severed at the elbow. It should have taken both arms. Without them, maybe I could have survived. Maybe I could have had a home. Instead, I'll die cold and alone in a desolate wasteland. A fitting end for a monstrosity like me. If this is death, it's not as bad as I fear. The cold is gone, as is the choking stench of bog water. I could drift forever, cocooned in oblivion, until all thought and sensation vanished. No curse, nobody howling at me in madness and terror, nothing at all. The thought has a terrible appeal to it. But I take a reflective breath as air pours into my lungs, then out again, in a ragged gasp. Feeling comes flooding back, warm cloth on my bare skin, a firm surface underneath me, a strange tang of sulphur in the air. Do not be afraid. I twist my head towards the voice. Tears flood my bleary eyes with the bright glow of lamplight. Try not to move. The voice is calm, steady, and commanding, but more importantly, it's a stranger's voice. One thought cuts through my mental fog. I have no idea who this is, and I'm completely at their mercy. Stay away from me! My words come out a little more creaky than a creaky whisper. I clamp my mouth shut, hating how weak and helpless I sound. No. No? Who the hell is this? I'm gonna lie back down. I let myself slump back against the thin pillow, wincing when the motion jolts my head. Ah, a cooperative patient. Thank you. The words swim in one ear and out the other without much comprehension. I pull the sheet up higher, wiping my eyes until my vision clears. They're really pretty. The stranger towers over my prone form, warm light limns his pristine medical coat. I instinctively shrink back, and that's when I realize that I'm completely naked except for a thin linen sheet. Naked, lying on a low cot with a pair of sharp golden eyes watching my every move. The man's gaze flickers to my exposed, unbandaged hands. I plunge my hands under the sheet. Though it's too late, he must have noticed what they look like. Strange, cursed, inhuman. I brace myself for his inevitable disgust, but his courteous smile lingers. He just watches in placid silence as I struggle to make sense of my surroundings. Where am I? Who are you? Be calm, you are safe here. Whoever this is, he clearly has no idea who or what I am. I've never been safe anywhere with anyone. Even my own mentor, my teacher, thought I was nothing but a convenient specimen to be used and discarded. I scowl, pulling the sheet protectively around myself. Where are my clothes? The man's golden eyes narrow slightly as a sharp sigh rustles the papers in his hands. I see you are not to be dissuaded. Your clothes were torn to shreds when I found you, but I procured replacements. With the soft creak, he rises from his chair, giving me a better view of my surroundings. Ooh, look at that picture. That is such a good work of art, that is. The syringes are very pretty as well. This looks like a medical clinic. Bottles of silvery alchemical concoctions line the counters in neat rows. The air makes my nose twitch, a faint whiff of smoke and something distinctly metallic. The doctor produces a large, dense bundle of cloth, which he sets at the foot of my cot. He is easily a head taller than most, and I have to crane my neck to look at him. Thank you. I should be polite if I can, especially since I don't know who this is, what he can do, or what he wants with me. Thank you. You are very welcome. I will leave you to get dressed. With a curt nod, he leaves through a narrow door. I hear a soft click as the lock turns behind him. When I don't hear any more footsteps, I reach for the bundle of clothes. An itch on my elbow stops me short. I reach down absently to rub at it, then freeze when my fingers meet a neat line of stitches. I know what I saw. That beast took my arm clean off. And yet, the limb shows no sign of injury apart from the black stitches poking through my skin. I gingerly flex my fingers, feeling my heart race at the sensation. This is impossible. I should be dead, or at the very least, gasping out my last breaths. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the pleasant dream to unravel, to wake up and find myself bleeding out in the swamp. But nothing happens. The seconds tick by, and my arm remains resolutely healed, my surroundings pristine and quiet. In numb disbelief, I grab the replacement clothes and begin stiffly pulling them on. They're thicker and warmer than mine were, bundled with a black woolen cloak. But there's one thing still missing, my bandages. The doctor didn't leave me with any, though I know he saw my hands. I slide off the bed and take a few unsteady steps toward one of the drawers. If this is indeed a doctor's clinic, then there must be bandages somewhere. I start opening drawers. Oh my god, look at the microscope. I start opening drawers at random, and of course, that's when the door swings open. Wait, look at the freaking microscope. Like, as a science girly, that is such a cool, like, it's so pretty. Sorry. I start swinging, and that's when the door opens. Are you looking for something? I whirl around, clutching a thick roll of clean bandages. I try to step back from him, but my legs bump up against the cot. Your caution is understandable, though if I meant you any harm, you would know. That doesn't make me feel better in the slightest, but he makes no move toward me. So I quickly wind the bandages around my hands. The glowing scars and malted skin disappear under a thin layer of clean white cotton. May I ask why you need additional bandages? I can help if you tell me what ails you. I doubt it. Traveling to Iridia was a gamble born of desperation rather than hope. Nothing has come close to curing my curse. And yet, my left arm twitches. The arm that was severed before my very eyes. The doctor's unblinking gaze follows my every move. It's clear he won't drop this without some sort of answer. The bandages protect me, and they warn others to stay away. I've tried every way of covering my hands, and this works best. Most people avoid touching me as soon as they see the bandages. An illness, then, or a less mundane affliction spread by contact. I flinch. He doesn't even sound surprised, and that's far too close to the truth for comfort. Decline to answer. Well, it's personal, and I don't really want to get into it. I have treated every affliction under the sun. I may have answers that you do not. An involuntary snort of laughter escapes me. Where would I even begin? Would he even believe me if I told him? I shake my head. I need to know more about this doctor before he figures me out. Oh my god. The yawning. Crazy. Who are you? You may call me Curious. And where exactly am I? Iridia, which I assume was your caravan's destination. I can think of nowhere else for a group of travelers to go. Iridia. So I made it to the City of Knowledge after all. I should feel relieved, but all I can manage is a vague sense of an encursing unease. How did I end up here? I brought you to my clinic, of course. You were the only survivor from the caravan, barely clinging to life. You needed immediate treatment. Which you provided? Yes. He says it so simply, as if I'm a small child and he's explaining basic addition to me. I frown and flex my fingers on my recently healed arm. Aside from being a bit stiff, it feels fine, thoroughly attached to me. You're saying that you stitched my arm back on? Pardon? A solus attacked the caravan. It ripped everyone's to shred. It tore my arm clean off. But when I woke up here, I spent my entire life learning from a Cenobian mage, and I know of no alchemy or magic that could reattach a severed limb. Even if he somehow could heal me with magic, I should be able to detect traces of it. But I sense nothing out of the ordinary. The doctor, curious, pinches the bridge of his nose. He sits back down in his chair, quiet for a long time. I do not know where you came from, but Iridia is the city of knowledge, and deadly secrets alike. Information is power, and one should not give or receive it freely. Since you refuse to divulge your secrets, I will not divulge mine. I do not even know your name. You are new to Iridia, so I will overlook the specific breach of etiquette. Do not expect others to extend the same courtesy. Do you understand? He glances at my freshly bandaged hands. Loath though I am to admit it, he has a point. I am a complete stranger to him, yet he saved my life. I take a deep breath, steadying my breath. I take a deep, steadying breath. This time, when I speak, I sound a bit more like myself. Rose. My name is Rose. It is a pleasure to meet you, Rose. There's a little more warmth in a smile, his polite demeanor back in an instant. Thank you for saving me. I chance to smile in return, even if he won't explain how he did the impossible. There's no doubt in my mind I'd be dead if not for Curious. Think nothing of it. I'm not sure if he's just being excessively courteous, but his words only raise more urgent questions. I have to ask, why did you save me? You don't know me. The question seems to startle Curious. I could hardly leave you to die in the wastes. Assisting those in need is the very sense of a doctor's duty. I've never met a doctor who also handed out free clothes. My fingers find the edge of the cloak. There's a subtle but delicately embroidered pattern on the hem. I try not to think about what price Curious might demand for such well-made clothes. No, I suppose not. Forgive my presumption, I rarely come across such a fascinating patient. I blink. What did he just say? I simply meant that few would cling to life so resolutely, or brave such a perilous journey to Iridia. I could not help being curious about you, Rose. His voice dips into a soft murmur, and he abruptly looks away from me. You're pretty curious yourself. Am I? Well, I haven't forgotten about my arm. I wiggle my intact fingers at him. Clearly not. But you haven't asked me for any payment either. I require none from you. Travelers do not have an abundance of coin, and leaving you destitute in a strange place would be unethical. I fall silent, unsure of what to say. Nobody would help a whore like me for free. There has to be some kind of catch or trick, right? A loud knock at the front door stops our conversation cold and spares me from having to say anything else. Duty calls. Unfortunately, you are not my only patient today. The knocking grows more insistent and Curious lets out a tired sigh. Please wait. Though he says it quietly, the clamor on the other side of the door abruptly stops. Do you need anything before you leave, Rose? Oh. Between the soulless attack and my miraculous survival, I'd almost forgotten why I came to Iridia in the first place. I need directions to the cenobium. The cenobium? The look on his face is downright chilling. He pauses, choosing his words with cold deliberation, and when he speaks again. Whatever you seek, it is very unlikely you will find it there. The cenobium's gate open for precious few visitors, and even if they opened for you, you would not like what you found inside. My heart sinks. Is he saying that I came all this way for nothing? Risked life and limb for nothing? No, that can't be. I've only just arrived, and Iridia is the largest city still standing. There has to be a cure for me here. Then if not the cenobium, where would you suggest? Do you know anyone else in Iridia? I shake my head. Then I'd suggest a local guide. Head to the Wet Wick and ask for Leander, the leader of the Adderstone. Excuse me? The Wet what? The Wet Wick. He sounds deeply unamused. Follow the Adderstone posters. They're difficult to miss. When you meet Leander, tell him I sent you. That isn't much to go on, but Curious points towards the back door. You'll be safe as long as you do not draw attention to yourself. That's easier said than done. I've always been a magnet for the worst sort of attention. If you require my assistance, you may return whenever you wish. Though he's smiling, there's a note of finality in his voice. Resigned to my dismissal, I slip out the back door. I find myself standing in a narrow and rather gloomy alley. I pull the new cloak up over my nose, stepping over the contents of an empty chamber post. So, I feel like this is where I leave it for tonight, because I'm getting a little tired. So, good night.